I tried to comb my hair and make it stop scratching me. We'll be just having a little conversation about 7 things I wish I knew when I just became a Christian. If you're interested in this type of video, keep on watching.
I'm a God girl, that's who I'll be, from the top of my head to the soles of my
Church girl and guys who watch this, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zharamarieyt, and here is where you get clean Christian content, where we have conversation that we just don't have in church. So if you're new here, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss another video. And for my regular members, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You know that bathroom? The bathroom make you feel like you can't sing. Hey! Anyways, let's get on with this video. I'm using this spray, braid spray by African Pride. It's actually a braid sheen spray, but it helps with the itch, and that's all they had in the store. African Pride should sponsor me at this point. But yeah, it really does. Let me show you. And it was for $1,100 and something dollars. $1,150. And it's nice. But anyways, to the conversation. So the first one is that I wish I recognized at the time that the church isn't a perfect place. I think it would have really prevented a lot of church hurt and just a lot of high expectations that I have, right? So now I know most of you have heard that the church is a hospital for sinners. It's where broken people come so that they can, broken people like you and me, because the church so that we can get healing, so that we can feel closer to God, so that we can get community. And knowing that the church isn't a perfect place, then it really sets our expectations when it comes to people. A lot of church hurt that I went through, possibly I wouldn't have been so hurt if I just acknowledged that, wait, I can't find my sushi. Yeah, a lot of church hurt that we experienced, like possibly we wouldn't experience it if we had just acknowledged that it's okay that these people make these mistakes, like you and I, you know. And as much as they have some people who are held to a higher standard, if I had just viewed the church as an imperfect place with imperfect people, then I think a lot of those high standards that I would have for people, they wouldn't be that high, and I would be much more understanding and much more graceful when people mess up and people make mistakes, because they might be leaders, they might be church aunties, they might be, you know, deacons and stuff, but they're elders, pastors, but they're just humans. So I think that would have been helpful, and it has been helpful to me thus far to look on the church as, oh, this is nice, isn't it? I'm not going to win. Zonja gone, and I have a meeting. So yeah, just understanding my edges now, a little eco-styler. So yeah, if I just accepted the church for what it is, a hospital for broken, sick people, sinners that need saving, it would really help me. And it has helped me a lot to where I am now. I give people grace a lot. I don't hold people to these unrealistic high standards just because they're in certain positions, because I see you how I see myself. Just somebody who will try. It's a trying youth, you know. It's a trying person on a journey doing what they can do to the best of their ability. And it has really helped me. It has helped with a lot of stuff. And I know, especially for people who are choosing a church, sometimes they don't go to a certain church because they're like this and they're like that, and blah, 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 blah. But when you look into yourself, you realize that you're like this, and you're like that, and blah, blah, blah. So that's the first thing. So the second thing I wish I knew when I just became a Christian, please ignore the clothes on the door, them never dry, and I was too lazy to go and put them back on. Second thing I wish I knew is that things don't become easier when you get a Christian. You don't just become a Christian because you want good luck to find you or whatever. Because when you choose the path of God, you choose a path that comes with different circumstances, comes with trials, because it is through our trials that we get tests, and then we get to rely on God, because we're not perfect human beings and we don't really have it in us to do these things ourselves, but God uses the fire to help us to get refined in our character and Sometimes it's through the fire you realize that you're not as good as you thought you were, or you found that there were some things about you that you needed to fix. You're not patient enough, you're not humble enough. It is through the fire that we get closer to God. And the truth is, the raw truth is that we live in a sinful world, and because we live in a sinful world, there'll always be things like sickness, pain, crime, violence. And as much as you always hear, so why, I know in this earlier would have same if I'm just feeling disappointed, feeling betrayed by God, and feeling like, oh, I'm a Christian now, so things are supposed to be different. No, it doesn't really work like that. Number 3, the value of guarding your heart. So I know that as people who live in a culture where everything is super published, everything is, you know, overly sexualized, everything is out there, and you want to get with the times, you want to be involved in different things, you want to go places, then there's this constant battle between walking in the flesh and walking in the spirit. And you always have to choose, oh, do I listen to that type of music, or can I listen to that, or can I read that, or can I watch that? And it's very important to learn how to guard the avenues of your mind and the avenues of your heart. So a lot of times it's through these things that the enemy works, through the things that we're watching, the things on Netflix that we take for granted, some of the movies, some of the underlying themes that are in there. When you look in them, they're not really off God. The things that are on YouTube, some of the YouTube videos that we watch, some of the channels that we're subscribed to, some of the lifestyles that we take on, some of the reality shows that we decide that we want to watch. It's not even nothing beginner, so it don't have to be nothing. Because I know, like for me, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna watch any horror movies because the enemy going to use horror stuff, and the enemy can speak to you through these things, and these things are infiltrating your minds, they're infiltrating your homes, they're infiltrating your thoughts, and they're rewiring your minds in ways that we just don't know. So even though I was saying I was not going to watch like horror movies, I was watching reality TV a lot. And the truth is, people that on reality TV, they live a biblical life. So now my mind was reprogramming, and there were some things, and all of a sudden you think that you can do it, and you don't realize, and you wonder why you struggle. And it's because we infiltrate in our minds with all these things. Yes, I wish I had understood and really accepted the fact that it is very important to guard the avenues of your mind. Number 4, the importance of community and friendship. So you don't have to have a big old community with 100 people, but having 1 or 2 friends that you can rely on, that can pray for you, you can pray for them, somebody who you can really dive into the word, somebody who you can rely on throughout your spiritual journey, it's so important. And we take it for granted because, you know, it's not that big of a deal, but this Christian journey can be so lonely, and it's not as fulfilling when it's lonely. And possibly you're watching this and you're like, but Zara, I don't have any friends. But are you that friend? Are you that friend for anyone? It's as simple as trying to turn your life around and extending that grace to a friend. Possibly you have a friend in need who's just like you, who's thinking, well, I need a friend too. You get me? So before you think about the fact that you don't have any friends, and you don't have any friends who are Christians, or you don't have any friends who you would want to pray with or whatever, try to be that friend first and see what kind of friendships you can cultivate and attract. And of course, guys, I'm not going to leave you hanging. So you must be wondering, so how do you find friends? How do you meet friends? Sorry, man. I don't record the video, but your girl is thirsty. Okay? Thirsty. So I'm gonna get a little water. Hold on. How do you make friends when you are new to a church, or you just don't have any Christian friends and you wish your friends were? Because I see this comment all the time, oh, you have the best friends, I wish I had friends. Wish I had good Christian friends. Never force a friendship, that's one. So you'll find people in different youth groups and stuff that maybe you're just not connect with, and that's fine. Don't force stuff. And I loved the fact that when I was in Advent Fellowship, which I pick up all the time. So for those who don't know, Advent Fellowship is a group with all the Adventist students who are on UNTOLD campus, right? And it was a big group of people, but everybody kind of found their group of friends, but everybody did still cool. So you don't have to feel any way if you just haven't found your friend in the group. There are a lot of reasons why people find groups. People People just draw together based on specific interests. People pull together based on some vulnerable moments, like if them did share a vulnerable moment and I could relate to it, then you start out more. And so there are different reasons. Fashion, as a matter of fact, quick point, a lot of my friends who I met in Alfeld, the ones who I really started to get closer to, we started talking because we like each other close. And I met a lot of people that are now my friends that I started talking to them because I was like, wow, that's such a nice dress you have on. You see, so I could be like other YouTubers and like get a cute cup instead of this big cup, but why? But okay, so you can find friends in your youth group at church. You can find friends in online spaces like this one. If you want a friend, drop it in the comments and somebody might respond, especially if you're in a very similar region. So when you comment, you can let us know where you're commenting from and see if somebody connects with you. Who knows? It's just the beauty of how these things work. If you are into social media, let me give you a little trick. You can find people who are like-minded based on pages that you follow. No, don't be a creep about it, right? Let's say, for instance, my page is a very good page to find a friend because there are so many like-minded people on my page. You look under the comments and you follow a few people, and you know, just follow a few people and then you start interacting with their stories and stuff. You can maybe make a 1 comment, 2 comments here and there, and then you might just click. I found people by literally just talking to them through Instagram, and we're now meeting up in real life. So that's something you could try. Be very careful and just be very smart about it. The truth is, you're not going to be able to meet all the people that you reach out to on the internet, but you might just find that person who is your person. There are also other popular hashtags. Hashtag SDA styles for my Adventists. Under there, you usually find people who use hashtag SDA styles for their Sabbath pictures, and it usually means that they are the active churchgoers. So if you're also an active churchgoer and you like fashion or whatever, you and them might have that in common. You might be able to follow their posts and you started commenting, and you start commenting on each other's stories and you realize that you have stuff in common. Who knows, that might happen. Okay, if you're not Adventist and you want another hashtag, Christian blogger, Christian journaling, Christian thoughts, Christian youth hashtags. Those hashtags, they have content. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so excited. I feel like I'm revealing a secret formula, but it's so true because people just like you are posting under those. So let me show you a thing. I'm going to just use my phone and show you. Under this hashtag, there is a post, right? Under the post, there are lots of comments with like-minded people. If you follow just 10 out of those people or 15 over the next 3 months, and these are active users of social media, over the next 3 months, there must be one person who you can respond to their stories. You start off with a little laugh. Then you say, can relate, facts. Then you start like a conversation. In no time you have a friend. People need friends because people need friends. It's not like you want a Christian friend, somebody out there also wants a Christian friend. So that's a big hack. I love it. I've used it over and over again. And if you have found friends through the power of social media, comment under this and let me know. So that others can see your experience. So that's another thing. And then I'll also add, when you go to group stuff, so if you go to a conference, if you go to a retreat, if you go to a camp, if you go to anything that's a big like a big organization and they put you in smaller groups, maximize on them. So you guys would have known that we hosted a retreat, their church girl retreat, for 2 years. It was really a way to bring people together during COVID. So those retreats attracted hundreds of people, but then everybody was put in smaller groups. Some people maximized on those smaller groups and made friends out of them. Some ladies didn't maximize on the smaller groups, and it makes me sad because then I see them now and they don't have friends, and I'm like, but you never really maximize on the groups. The truth is, as much as I would want to sit down and have conversations with all 10,000 of you, I can't really do it. I would love to though. I'd love to clone myself and have conversations with everybody and be everybody's close. Well, you are my BFFs. You guys know this. But I would love to be able to do that, but like I don't have the bandwidth. I am one person. So I really wanted people to maximize on it. Some people did, and I loved it. Beautiful friendships have been blossomed out of it. So that's the other thing. I know I'm all over the place, guys, but put yourself out there and go to the things them. Go to that concert, go to that camp, go to that link up, go to that retreat. I'm tired of people saying how them want Christian friends and them not leaving them yard. Them not, that it's supposed to. Them not leaving them. Yo, I have no idea. Let me just recap because I know it's all over the place. 1, join a group. 2, when you join the group, be intentional about reaching out to people who you think you could relate to. 3, use social media. 4, look for camps, conferences, retreats, and when you go there, use the opportunity to meet up with people. It's a beautiful opportunity. The other thing I wish I knew when I first became a Christian is that it's a journey. It's a journey. Make a daily decision to totally surrender to God. You don't just go so boom bam, Christian, ready up, ready up. I am going home on the morning train. And you put on your bag. I am going home on the morning train. All I'm saying is that this journey is a journey that we're on every day. And knowing that when you just become a Christian, it's very important because it means now that you don't get complacent. You don't feel like you reach and you sit back and you sit on the bench and you warm bench, but deep down you're not cultivating that relationship with God. You're not growing. You're not growing any at all. Just like a baby. When you're a baby and you used to get breast milk and then you move from breast milk to soft foods, I don't really know, or baby porridge. From that to smoothie, or I'm pretty sure I'm butchering it, but you get me, until they can eat hard food and eat dumpling and yam, and until you can grow. And that's the same thing on our Christian journey. Every day we should be growing. Every day we should be wanting more. And knowing that it's a journey really helps you to continue walking. It really helps you to continue wanting more. Because when we reach grade 6 with the GSAT or whichever exam you do in your country, and we move on to high school, and after high school we do another thing and that qualifies us to university, we grow as we move on. So it's in the same way we need to grow in our spiritual life and understand that it's a journey. It helps us to want to always move forward. It helps us to know that, alright, if you fall today, His grace is sufficient for you. And He has forgiven you, so now you need to forgive yourself and move on, because it is a journey. It's a journey that we're gonna drop down and buckle to sometime, but that's gonna be okay too. You're gonna have scabs on you're gonna fall down, you're gonna have scabs on your knees, but the scabs will always fall off and you'll be able to replenish the flesh. I don't know if that didn't make any medical sense, but you guys get it. It's a journey, and because it's a journey, it means that it's not going to always be smooth sailing. Just like Jamaica, you're going to have enough bad road and you're going to drop into potholes sometime, but you still like, oh, because you know girl a driver now, so you have to go down to the pothole, hold the brake, and you go down the pothole and you take your time and you come out. Because if you just drop buffing on the pothole, you're going to mash up the shocks. What an analogy. But you know, when people get comfortable on the highway, they can lose control and they can fall asleep because the highway too smooth sailing. And that's why God have to push you in some potholes sometime and for rough way up and say, alright, now it's time for you to get new shocks. I'm going to drop you, boom, we're going to refine you, and then we're going to make it smoother to go on the other side. So knowing that early would have helped me, but I'm glad I learned it eventually. Another thing I wish I had learned sooner, you can still have fun. It's up to you to find ways to have pure, clean fun. That's why I'm so passionate about sharing on this channel the things I do with my friends, things I do with my husband, the things I do with my parents and my family. Because guess what? When you take on God, you don't take on God for Saturday alone or for Sunday alone for those who go to church on a Sunday. You take on a full identity, and your recreation time should reflect that. Your social time should reflect that. Your time at work should reflect that. The things that you eat should reflect that. And I think we should reach a point where it's more than just us showing up to church, more than just doing the things that we know we should do for a service or a program, but our whole life should reflect that. So being a Christian is so much fun. There are so many things that you can do. It doesn't take away from having fun. And the seventh thing I wish I knew when I became a Christian is this. Drumroll please. Having a relationship with God for yourself is important. Let me repeat. Having a relationship with God, a personal one between you and him, like how me and you talking, is of utmost importance. That should come before church rules. That should come before church rituals. That should come before church practices. That should come before everything, because guess what? That will inspire everything else. In working on talking to God, working on connecting with God, working on reading his words, because it is through his words that he speaks to us, is of utmost importance. First, is of utmost importance. And this is important for us to know, and it's important for any young Christian, any new Christian, or anybody trying to reboot your journey. It was when I figured this out that it all started to make sense. Doing stuff for doing stuff's sake from a shallow place just because you think you have to do it is hypocritical. It also is a waste of time, to be honest. And you know, the Bible tells us that God will look and he'll say, "Depart from me, I know you not," if he doesn't know you. And you could have been doing everything right, but not from the right place. So that is why we need to first try to find God. Who is he to you? You know, how does he sound to you? In a relationship, you know exactly what they will do and what they won't do. If somebody comes in and they tell me some things about Andre, I'm supposed to easily say, "Yeah man, in that," because I know him very well. And that's when the Bible will start to make sense. That is when the Bible will start looking like a love letter, like a roadmap, like such a beautiful thing, instead of it looking like a horrible rule book that is so annoying. Wow, may I say that, and goosebumps fill me up. Why am I get emotional? This is not supposed to be an emotional video. But when you start seeing the Bible as a love letter to you, when you start seeing the Bible as a roadmap, as something that if you follow it, you literally live the best life ever. Because God, he even told us what to eat. He cares so much about it that he wants us to have a healthy life. What a love. What a love. Somebody can love me so much that he would inspire people to write stuff about the way I should behave in public, to save me from embarrassment, and to make sure that I have the best quality life. What a love. A love that humans can't comprehend. And it's because I have spent the time to learn God for myself that I would have the opportunity to experience such a love. So nobody can beat me with a Bible. Because the Bible was given to me because God loves me in the same way he loves you. It's not a rule book that is so annoying that it mash up the way you live your life. And the reason we see it like that is because we never started to work on our relationship with God first. It was always about religion. It was always about the practices of the church. And that doesn't bring you anywhere. And I get emotional about it because I never started to experience God for myself until I stepped out of just following rules because people said so. Okay? Bible, the Holy Spirit speaks to you about every single area of your life. And I know this channel covers a lot. We talk a lot about food, we talk a lot about fashion, we talk a lot about sex and sexual urges, and we talk a lot about these things because I want us to recognize that we can't live our life in a vacuum or in a box, because God cares about all of our life. As a Christian, when you decided to become a Christian, it meant that you decided to change the way you live. Your whole lifestyle should reflect it. It shouldn't just be about the outfits that you put on to go to church on the weekend. He cares about every aspect of your life, because your lifestyle is your first ministry, and I would want even I to say it is the most valuable part. So yes, number 7. Having a relationship with God is supposed to be prayer. because with that relationship, no boy, no girl, nothing can shake you. You think somebody can run you outside of church? You think somebody can upset your spirit and get away with it for too long? Because it doesn't matter. You see when you get your relationship with God right, it is something same thing when you struggle with forgiveness. It's not getting easier, but you will see how it starts to make sense. You see your deepest struggle, whatever you struggle with. You see, we talk about modesty. Them things there, the Holy Spirit will start talking to you. Yeah. These are the 7 things I wish I knew when I just became a Christian. I've learned them along the way. I'm glad I learned them. And I hope this video that came so much from my heart will maybe stop bawling all them videos. God. I really hope this video helps somebody who has just accepted God, or if you're like me who have accepted God a long time but sometimes you feel like, you know, you're lukewarm and you want to restart that journey. This might be your video too. This might be a video for you. No matter where you are on your journey, if you want, it's never too late. And I know me sound like me, I make an appeal right now. But I want you to know that God loves you. His grace is sufficient. He will never leave you nor forsake you. And you are the one who left. He never left. So he's there. The enemy wants you to get trapped in the cycle of thinking that you're not good enough. So you don't go to God. So you don't pray. So then you get further from him. And then you're trapped in the cycle. And then you infiltrate your mind with all these things. And then you... Those are lies. Before I continue talking, because this video has the potential to get too long of me rambling and just talking about the goodness of God and crying, just want to thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment, and I forgot all of them, but thanks for watching. Bye.